Hi, I'm Lisa Bedford. I'm the survival mom. And today I wanted to do a book review for a book called The Doom and Bloom Survival Medicine Handbook, written by Joe and Amy Alton. Joe and Amy are friends of mine, and both of them have been in the medical profession for many years. So between the two of them, they have a combined, who knows how many decades of medical training and experience. So when I found out they wrote a book, I wanted to get my hands on it. So the Doom and Bloom Medical Survival Medical Handbook is a pretty hefty book. I mean, it's about that thick. You can see that I have marked several sections in it. And this book is written primarily for people who are interested, who might call themselves survivalists or preppers, and who want to be prepared medically for things that could happen in a collapse scenario. And that really is the primary focus of this book. It's not so much a how-to first aid if you can't get to a doctor right away, or if you're a mom at home and your kid has a bad cut, what to do. It can give helpful information in those scenarios, but the primary focus of it is how to be a first responder, how to be a long-term caregiver in a collapse scenario where medical facilities and doctors are perhaps nowhere to be found, and who knows when they will be available. So the first thing that caught my eye is that this book is pretty comprehensive. It has a detailed index in the back, and it is arranged by chapters, which make information easy to find. Some of the sections that I have marked for my own use is this good section on medical supplies. And it goes through just the very basics that you would want to have in a well-supplied medical kit. And then it goes on to even add surgical supplies. If you have the training and you can get your hands on those items, it really leads you from a basic medical kit all the way through something that would be a trauma kit, something for more severe, some more cases. I also appreciate that throughout the book, it doesn't rely only on the adage of, take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. It also mentions and brings into play, with a lot of respect, home remedies and things that could be helpful using essential oils and herbs. As one doctor said to me, 3,000 years of home remedies can't be all wrong. And so Joe and Amy incorporate some of those throughout the book. Some other sections that caught my eye, this one here on essential oils. Amy has detailed which oils that she thinks are the most essential oils, and what they can do and why they should be a part of your family's medical kit. And even just growing an herb garden with some of the medicinal herbs that are listed throughout the book could be a help. Then this is something that Joe and Amy have kind of taken on as a project to train others in, and that is how to suture. And this chapter provides photos, but they're not telling anybody and everybody that this is, something you should do, and, go find a family member to practice on. They're very clear that this is something that needs to be done by the most trained member of your town, or your retreat, or whatever your family unit is, or your unit in a disaster scenario. But at least they provide the information. And I know that a lot of first aid kits do come with, some of the more advanced ones, come with suture kits. And if you have the suture kit, at least here is some information just to get you started with. A couple of other sections that caught my eye. This one, allergic reactions. It would be a terrible thing to experience an extreme allergic reaction and to not have an EpiPen or something comparable to take care of it. And so Joe and Amy talk about what can be done, as well as a section on diabetes. That's one of the questions I'm asked most often. And I was so glad near the back of the book, Joe addresses this question here, and that is, how do I stockpile medications? A lot of people with chronic health issues want to know, how can I stock up on things like insulin or whatever medication they happen to be on. And Joe lets us know just straight up, and Amy too, they let us know straight up that most medications in pill form are potent for years after that marked expiration date. And so I think the book is a good investment. I think it's a good addition to a survival library. And here is one thing that I would say, though. It is not the kind of book that you can just grab in the middle of a crisis and find really quickly what you need. It's not that you can't find the information. Everything is just pretty much written in paragraph form, and the information is all there. But this is the kind of book that you're going to need to read through and to mark the pages of health scenarios that are most likely to occur in your own family, in your home, or among your friends, and really learn it. Anything that is in here you might want to practice if possible, except for maybe the suturing. And because I don't think it's written in the kind of format where you can just flip it open and say, okay, step number 1 for a sprain is this. Number 2, it's all written there. The information is there. But you'll want to have the information up here, especially in, like I said, occurrences that would be most common. Finally, my last suggestion for the book is that you just read and study it now, because you don't want to be in a dire scenario where you're wondering, what can I do? My child is bleeding, or they can't breathe. It looks like a bone is broken. And then you're running to a YouTube video, or you're running to this book trying to scramble for information. And so Jo and Amy lay out in the beginning of the book training courses and information that's very helpful to have. So I recommend the book by Jo and Amy Alton, The Doom and Bloom Survival Medicine Handbook, and I give it 5 stars.